Hi everyone, good morning all. Today we are going to start the advanced Spring Security course. Okay, throughout our application in terms of REST API or microservices, how to provide security for our web applications. This is the main motive for the Spring Security course. Okay, it's kind of include all security concepts are available. Okay, first let me go through the course content and then we'll discuss about normal for your non-technical questions. Okay, so security is very important when you are developing an APIs here. Without security there is no project at all. So even when you are attending an interview, they will ask you, do you know Spring Security? Like they will straight away start from, okay, like a JWT, what is OpenID, what is auth2, how it is working, what are the different flows will be there. Common questions you will arise, how to handle security in your project. These are the common questions when you are attending an interview here. Spring Security, it's not like a simple, okay. Whoever has a knowledge on the Spring Boot and REST API development, those people are eligible for the Spring Security course. Like at least how to connect to a database, okay, how to create a tables. If you know that idea, then you are eligible in this course, guys. If you are a completely beginner in the Spring Boot, don't attend this session. Okay, the minimum prerequisite for this course is our Spring Boot here, guys. You should have an idea, then only you need to attend this course. Okay, now coming to the security, first initial, okay, the course duration can be at 10 to 15 days can happen. Okay, so inside first module we are going to discuss overview of the Spring Security basics. Okay, how to create a application without security, with security how to provide. Whenever you are adding, okay, a default functionality, how it is handling by your Spring framework, that we are going to discuss. And how to configure static credentials, it's not a dynamic, static, how the flow will happen. To understand about Spring Security internal flow, very important, this internal flow, how when you send a request from HTTP in the backend, how the API is happening in all security classes. That is about overview of the Spring Security. Slowly will change the default functionality to authenticate a request, okay, how to deny the request and how to permit the request. Like whenever any, okay, third party person accessing your API, how to provide, how to validate this guy, okay, whether he has a specific, okay, specific URL he is sending a request or not. Everything need to taken care by in our application. How to slowly we are changing a default security configurations. Once you are comfortable, okay, creating Spring Boot project with security configurations, slowly we are going to discuss users. That means without user there is no security, right? So how to managing users inside our application. Okay, to understand advanced concepts like auth2, JWT, OpenID, any concept, Spring basic fundamentals you should know about interfaces and classes. Without having this knowledge, understanding advanced concepts is a little bit difficult for you guys. So here we are going to discuss understanding user management interfaces and classes. Okay, and here user management interfaces and classes we will understand. And then slowly we will configure in memory user details manager. It's kind of a temporary, it's not like a permanent. Once you are good about in memory, then slowly we are going to discuss a database here. Okay, if you have a MySQL database, and how to connect to database, and how to create users inside our database. Like creating users is not a simple straightforward database table. It include user table, role table, user roles table, how to handle RBAC, role based access control. Okay, as a specific user, if he want to hit an API, he should have a permission. Then only I can provide the security for him. Then only I can provide an access based on his roles. Okay, that slowly we are going to, once whenever you are connecting to a database, slowly we are changing in memory to JDBC user details manager to perform the authentication here. Whenever you are using this database, okay, this particular class, Spring is providing default tables for us. Okay, by using that tables, how to perform the authentications. Once you are habituated to use authentication in terms of Spring security terminology, slowly we are going to discuss how to create our own tables. In the real time, we will never use Spring provided tables. Based on our requirement, based on your requirement, we can create our own tables. How to create your own database tables here? Okay, those database tables, how to perform authentication. Okay, and that we are going to discuss with our authentication here. When I say our own tables, obviously we will be include JPA entity classes. By using JPA and repository, we can create our own database tables connecting to MySQL database here. Here, whatever we are using MySQL database, here I will use as a Docker container. Okay, it's not like a again installing MySQL sometime, and instead of that, I will run my application on a Docker container, and I can connect it to Docker as well here to perform this authentication. Okay, and if you are creating your own tables means, okay, we have a tight complexity, okay, with our Spring security classes, where I need to understand about user detail service. Okay, by using this interface, I need to implement my own class, and then we are building an API to allow registration of a new user. If I want to create a user inside my application, we should go for registration. Then only it will come for your security and everything here. As part of the registration, how to create users, roles, user roles, everything we are going to discuss. Here we will do a REST API development here. Once we are good, password management. It is not like a storing password raw data into database. If I given my raw text, who has access, they can able to see my password. How to encrypt your password while storing data into database? That is about password management. Spring security is providing for us, okay, using password encoder. There is a bcrypt password encoder. We will demonstrate you how to encrypt securely with random password in our application, so that no one can able to decrypt your password as well. It is kind of a one way only encoding. You don't have an option to decode. Even though you know encoded password, you cannot decrypt except Spring framework only. Okay, that is about password management. Here we are using completely taken care by our Spring security classes. As part of the Spring security internal flow, we are going to discuss authentication provider here. It can be auth2 authentication provider, it can be a default authentication provider. It's kind of a Spring security is handling this provider here. Here, what is the importance of authentication provider? That we are going to discuss. This is another way of implementing security. Instead of depending on user detail service, ADBC we are completely depend on Spring security classes. Here we can create our own provider. I can do my customization as well. Okay, here we are going to discuss how to create, how to test, and here authentication provider, how the flow will be happen inside our framework. That we are going to discuss authentication provider here. still here, and how to implement understanding and implementing authorization. Not only authentication, we should be very good how to handle authentication and authorization, how to configure the roles in our database. That is about from here all Spring security, okay, main classes, interfaces, whichever required as part of security flow. Okay, these are all called the minimum things before learning auth 2 and JWT or microservices security. Once you are good about these concepts, and then will discuss about token based authentication using JWT. Nowadays it is a popular, right? Everyone is directly jumping into JWT. When they see the piece of code JWT, they look like a very complex they are feeling because of lack of fundamentals here. Once you are good about remaining above concept, implementing JWT is very very easy, guys. Okay, now here we'll discuss about deep dive on token based authentication. Okay, and we'll discuss about JWT token, okay, completely in detail. What is the advantage of token here, how to convert. Here till now, whatever we are implementing, everything we are implementing in a single project. That single project, how to convert to JWT dynamic data, making a project configuration to use a JWT token. Okay, like how to configure the filters. JWT is not like a separate, okay, classes or interfaces. It is just a filter into Spring security framework. In Spring security, we have around 10 to 15 filters are there. By default, some filters will be executed. Now, before doing an authentication, how to configure these filters to generate your JWT token? How to, once you provide a token, you need to taken care by the validation. How to validate your token is valid or not? How to validate your token is expired or not? And even we can provide method level security, guys. Not only endpoint security, method level also we can keep our security as well. Previously, I mean, we are providing security at the controller layer, all the methods. But you have a four methods. Delete operation, I should not provide access to my consumers. How to provide security for that specific method? By using pre-authorized method, we can able to provide method level security as well. This is here token based authentication using JWT. By here, you will be strong about a token based system for providing security for your REST APIs. Once you are good, and we are going to discuss what to, okay, open authorization and OpenID connect. By now you have a REST API. If you want to, okay, provide a security, first I should authenticate with my Gmail or Facebook or GitHub. How to provide? When you click a API, when you click slash create, it should open Gmail login page, Facebook login page, GitHub login page. That is about what to single sign-on flow, SSO flow. Okay, here implementing what to is very simple, but understanding, okay, terminologies, sample flow, lot of scenarios are there inside what to here, guys. Like what to terminologies, what to sample flow. And here two things we are going to discuss mainly. One for the authorization code grant flow. Whenever you are open any website like Redbus, HackerRank, log in with Gmail. But what is the flow happening internally? That is about authorization code grant flow, how it is working. Even we will demonstrate you this flow without UI as well. If you have a UI, then only I can implement authorization code grant flow. But by using key clock vendors, I can implement this flow as well as part of auth 2. And in terms of microservices security, now everyone from Java background, for microservices, how to provide a security? by using deep dive on client credentials grant flow. We have other flows also available here, but these two flows are very, very important while implementing auth 2 here. Not only auth 2, on top of auth 2, a new id came to the picture called OpenID. OpenID is in top of auth 2 here. Whatever auth 2 is supporting, plus and authentication and authorize, it's kind of a IAM, identity and access management. How we can implement OpenID Connect, that also we are going to discuss. And here, by using building a Spring Boot application, how GitHub is using auth server during auth 2, how to register your Spring Boot application to GitHub to use auth 2 server. These two things we will be demonstrate, and you can do with Facebook and you can do with Gmail as well, based on our application development. Here we are going to discuss, and we can run and verify our application using GitHub auth 2 here. This is about auth 2 flow. Once you are good about understanding about JWT and auth 2 flows, and we can implement our microservices security. Security, when I say for API gateway, we are going to implement security here. From gateway, we are accessing our internal microservices. So for microservice, now you are good about basics, fundamentals, and classes, interfaces, and auth to terminology, JW to terminology. Based on all these use cases, we are going to implement one of the identity provider using key clock here. Let me open for you here. Okay, clicktalk.org. Okay, and we have other flows also with like a Okta. Okay, these are all kind of a identity providers, open source identity and access management. How to manage the users, you no need to take care in your database, everything taken care by the key clock, but how to integrate is very, very important in our application. This is a one of the key clock. This is for Okta, Amazon, like that, lot of available here, guys. See, using single sign on, social login, user federation, admin console, where we are going to develop with our security by using this admin console. Okay, we can create the users, we can create auth to authorization code flow, auth to code grant flow by using JWT token. We are going to discuss as part of the microservices security here, guys. That is about your micros here. Key clock auth server, how to set up using a Docker using this admin account, how to set up a realm, it's kind of a database into key clock server, how to handle client credentials flow, authorization code flow. Here the terminology will come for you: resource server, authorization server, your application, how to pass your access token, how to validate your token, but all these things, how you can implement into API gateway. This is about your microservices security flow. These are the concepts we are going to discuss as part of this course duration here. Okay, in this advanced spring security course, this is more than sufficient. Even you have a 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, it's more than sufficient, guys. Anyone will come JWT auth 2. To understand, you should be strong enough to start with the fundamentals here, then only you can implement advanced security classes or interfaces, anything to you, guys. Once you are done this course, now you will be get more confidence on the security by using these concepts in the Google. Whenever if you are reading any article, whenever you're seeing any piece of code, easily you can understand, and you can do on top of that more, guys. Course duration 10 to 15 days course. Out of 10 to completely a spring security only. It's not like a REST API, it's not like a spring profile, normal basic concepts. No, completely security related only we are going to discuss. Okay, today is the first day of the session. So every day 8 to 9, Monday to Friday, we are going to discuss. Once you are enrolled, you will get 1 month of access. You can watch the free videos as well, guys. Okay, so for this course content, whatever you want, the complete information available in this website. Okay, you can go through this website, just a PDF link, a course duration, price, and everything is available under this link already I shared with you guys. You can go ahead and watch. Okay, whoever interested, okay, you can drop an email to us, so that our team will be take care about enrollment process and everything to you guys. This is our WhatsApp contact number, this is our email ID. Okay, just go through that link, you will get information. Okay, so that I'll check with the admin team, they will be take care about that part about actually. Okay, so any questions? If you are good, at least I will start about what is spring security, why we need a spring security, some concepts I'm going to discuss. In technical questions, is clear everything for technical? Yes, any questions? Put in the chat box, please. Yes, please put a question in the chat box, guys. Just to avoid in the background noise, just I muted everyone, so that's fine. Once you are enrolled, you can talk to me one to one. It's kind of a two-way communication. No, there is no Samuel Krishna. That is a more advanced. So right now we are not using SAML. Only for microservices security, only we are using, okay, key clock right now to implement complete flow. Okta is a, again, different flow, the way of implementing. And if you take another one, it can be a different flow. But right now we are taken as a uh, key clock, Rama. Yes, yes, obviously we'll get REST API security only. Before microservices security, everything is a REST API only. Everything, Durgesh. REST API, if you have a REST API, how to provide security? That is the one. There's a whole content we are going to discuss. Any questions? Sorry, Krishna. It can be based on our session. Saturday also will be there. That's up to you. Right now, we are going to implement OAuth 2 only for single sign-on Ramakrishna. OAuth 2 offline means it kind of your own OAuth 2 you need to implement. That we are not taking. That's why we are using key clock. Clear? Any other questions, please? If you are clear, say yes, so that Krishna I already told for all non-technical questions, check, drop an email for us, so these people will take care, Krishna. This is the contact number for any non-technical questions like a course fee, access, Google Drive, everything they will be take care. If any technical, we please discuss now. The main content is our course, so that's the what we are planning. Okay. Okay, now this is about complete course content. So let me provide some intro, okay, about your security here, guys. Then we'll continue for tomorrow for the same. Just a minute. Let me open my PPT. Okay. Now, what is Spring Security? The prerequisite for this course is a Spring Boot, as I already told. Okay. Now, first today, let me discuss about why Spring Security. Okay. Who are all interested, guys? Please don't leave the session today. Just I'm continuing about the basics. The same will be continue for the next session as well. So that's why. Okay. So why Spring Security? What Spring Security can do? What is authentication and what is authorization, how to implement the security, and remaining all the concepts till now whatever I discussed, the same pattern we are going to discuss here. Now, why Spring Security? Okay, guys, we given a link to you. In that link the complete information is available, so no LDAP right now, Krishna. Okay, let me share. Still people are asking course content, everything. This is a in this website we have a course free video access and everything. The normal information is available. Please go ahead and verify this link. Just I'm sharing one more time to you. Okay, now normally if you want to security, what kind of functionalities we are implementing? One, for the login and logout functionality. Now if anyone trying to access a URL as a logged in user, whether do I need to allow, whether do I need to block, I deny a request, or allow or deny, only two things. Or some couple of users trying to access based on our rules. End of the, okay, Spring Security, the main functionalities are these three things: login, logout, or allow or deny based on the rules. Normally, why Spring Security? What Spring is providing to us? What Spring Security can do for us? Username, password authentication we are doing. SSO, Okta, LDAP, these are the Spring Security can do. Application level authorization, intra app authorization like auth 2, it's like a single sign on. Okay, microservices security using tokens by using JWT, and it is providing method level security. A lot more can do Spring Security as well here. This is just a high level information what Spring Security can do. Once we are get into in detail information, then you will get an idea how to implement as well. Okay, now first, authentication. First we'll try to understand about what is authentication here. Okay, now before starting Spring Security, some normal technical terms you should be aware that I'm going to explain now. Okay, authentication means what? It is a process of verifying identity of a user, whether you are a valid user or not. Just I want to generally what will provide, first time if you are logged in, whenever you are logging into any website, user is required to provide the credentials like username and a password to perform the authentication process. Then only your JWT token based everything will come, guys. Even if you are going token based system, first time we should provide username and password. Then next step onwards, how token will be come to the picture, that is about the next flow will be happen. Now, username, password authentication, fingerprint authentication, OTP. We have a lot of authentication or security token authentication, like number of authentication providers. First time, whenever you are logging, you are providing, then fingerprint will come to the picture. Sometimes a OTP or sometimes security token. This is based on the context. We can implement this security as well. This is nothing but a authentication here. Now voice recognition, that is also one kind of a authentication here. This is kind of a terminologies, okay, as part of your authentication. Now if you're logged in as a website, okay, see username, password and login. Now you are a user, just you are checking with via credentials. How it is working, this authentication process, what are the steps it will work? First, you are accessing a protected resource. You need some information in a REST API. If you want to do what, it will open, application will prompt a username and password. You should provide authentication credentials. Once you provided username and password, then user will give their credentials. Then what will happen, your application will check credentials again. No, why? Because in the database I have some valid credentials. Whatever user is providing, I need to validate whether this user is a right person or not. Okay, that we are going to discuss about. Application check the credentials against set of known valid credentials, that means in the database. Then if credentials matching, yes, you are authenticated. If it is not matching, application deny the access. These are the 6 steps included as part of the internal how your authentication is working. As part of Spring Security, anyway, will demonstrate you how to provide simply providing username, but how it is happening internally also is very, very important here. This is about authentication. The next terminology, authorization. Authorization means what? First authentication should be success, then only authorization will come to the picture. Okay, now if you visit any IT company, first at the security layer you should prove your identity, your ID card. Okay, you are a valid guy, then you should be do access. If you are a valid guy, you can able to allow inside. If you have a admin servers, IT department is a restricted, that means only IT people or admin people they can allow. With your access card they cannot access. Why? Because you don't have a sufficient roles. You have a a employee role, you don't have a IT role. That is about authorization will come to the picture here. The same thing in our application also, user role, admin role, support role. Okay, super admin role. You can create as many number of roles in our application. It involving a granting access based on the users and permissions within the application. Authorization basically follow after authentication here. Okay, if you see, now you are a authorization giving a permission after verifying the access level. Just for diagrammatic approach, just explain here. Then how authorization works, what is the steps it will be include. After authentication, user trying to access a protected resource. Here protected resource means your REST API. Application check identity and as well as a role here. And application comparing the roles available in their database. If it is a matching, then it is as a necessary permissions, application will grant a access. If he do not have a permission, then it will be deny the access. That is about a denying the access and providing an error message or a redirect the user to a different web page. You don't have a sufficient privileges, log in again with your necessary permission, like this. Okay, Spring Security mainly two status codes, guys, one for the 401, another for 403. If you have a authentication problem, you will get 401, that means password or username is wrong. If you are getting 403 means username password is correct, but you don't have a specific permission, you don't have an authorization, then you will get 403 forbidden. This is okay authentication issue here. And if it not permission, what will happen? Whenever application continue to check authorization every time to a resource throughout the session. That is about every hit you should verify you have a specific permission or not with these roles. That is about how your authorization works. Come to this terminology here. To implement security into our project in our Spring Boot application, basic application, first I should add security dependency in pom.xml file. Then we need to create a Spring Security class and we need to create security file. These all the things, next terminology will come to the picture here. Anyway, live coding we are going to start from tomorrow onwards. Just I want to give some intro about what is security, why is Spring Security, just what is authentication and what is authorization. Just I want to demonstrate you here. Okay, now tomorrow onwards a live coding will start. Okay, with flow diagrams, like we have end of the course you are going to understand this complete security flow diagram, guys. Okay, to understand this diagram, first we should complete our normal basic Spring concepts, then only you can able to understand. Like if you see, you are sending a request, it will attempt an authentication manager, provider manager. We have a lot of providers, how you can do username password authentication, how to create your user. This is completely a security flow diagram. To understand end of the course you will understand here, not at starting point. To understand each concept we are going to a live examples, so definitely it will be easy for you for your development. And if you want to be strong in security, okay, this is sufficient here. Who are all okay, interested, okay, you can ping, okay, a message to the WhatsApp or drop an email. Our team will get back to you, and they can do an enrollment process here. Tomorrow onwards, enrolled students can join the session, okay. If you have any questions, drop a message to our team, they will help you that one, guys. If any technical questions you want to talk to me, just ask him, I want to talk to the trainer, they will give my number, so that you can talk to me in terms of technical questions. Non-technical, you can check with the team. So that is all about, okay, today's session. Today is the day one session, okay. So tomorrow, okay, we'll continue for the next, guys, okay. That's all today's session. Thank you. If you have any questions, let me know, guys. Okay, good. I don't see any questions in the chat box. Okay, guys, thank you, and we'll catch up tomorrow same time. Bye bye.